So we are doing we are actually studying a Chinese a text. It's called the Heart Sutra. Don't know whether you have heard about that. So every time we begin, we will we'll read the sutra once, so that we get a rough idea what's going on, but we don't actually. Because this sutra is very confusing, and especially with me, the the ability to expound this sutra is even more confusing. So I'm here to confuse you. So you better read the sutra, so it's less confusion. Okay, all right. So start. So we pay respect to the Buddha first. Namo本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。We take refuge in our teacher, the Sakyamuni Buddha, the Sutra opening Gata, the Dharma infinitely profound and subtle, is rarely encountered even in a million kalpas. Now we are able to hear, to study, and to practice. May we fully understand and realize the Tathagata's true teachings. Okay, there we go. Okay, the Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita, perceives that all five skandhas are empty and is saved from all suffering and distress. O Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear nor disappear, are not tainted nor pure, do not increase or decrease. There is emptiness, no form, no feelings, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and no forth until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment. With nothing to attain, the Bodhisattva depends on Prajna Paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, the Bodhisattva dwells in Nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on Prajna Paramita and attain unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. Therefore, know the Prajna Paramita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the Prajna Paramita mantra. Proclaim the mantra that says, Gade Gade Paragade Parasam Gade Bodhe Swaha. The Prajna Paramita, that means the quality, the perfection of wisdom. Okay. Hridaya, that means the heart. The sutra, that means a collection of teachings. This collection of teachings is especially on this development of the wisdom. Okay, so this is the meaning of the title. You did not miss very much, that Debbie and John. You only missed 7 classes. But we are still on second paragraph. So you did not miss much. Okay. So we are still on second paragraph, which is we are on that which is form is emptiness, And emptiness does not differ from form, and that which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness is form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. So I would like to finish off this paragraph today. So last week we looked at form does not differ from emptiness. Where does form come from? Form comes from conditions, right? With all conditions come that make a form. So what is this stick made up of? Wood. So where does the wood come from? Come from pulp. Where does the pulp come from? The pulp come from a tree. Where does the tree come from? Come from a seed. How does the seed turn into become a tree? With all the other conditions, the dirt, the sun, the water, and the space, and the people looking after it, and people chopping it down, people clean it up, people bring it in, people make it into a pulp, and then people make it into wood, and then there comes the stick. So those are the conditions. Those we call form is any animate or inanimate. What is that nodding means? It's very clever. Agreeing. Animate or inanimate? Animate and inanimate? Good. Animate and inanimate. So form actually means all animate and inanimate, or dhamma, all material form. Okay. So I am a form. You are a form. This is a form. A dog is a form. This is a form. And this is a form. A TV also is a form. Okay. So form does not differ from emptiness. We talked about last time what's the meaning of emptiness. Can you please? This word emptiness is too confusing. Why don't we start using sunyata? Yeah, it's better, sunyata. So remember, what's the definition of sunyata? We talked about that last time. Conditioned, good. Transitory, good. Impermanent, good. Dependent, this okay. Not divisible, good. Is it controllable by us? Doubtful. Is it controllable by us? No, we cannot control it. Can we control the conditions? Can we control the sky? Please don't rain. I need to take some bright pictures today. Yeah, would be nice. It's okay. Let us enjoy the rain. I remember last time, but the first time we walked into Fort Mountain to see to meet the warden there. It was pouring, huh? And the officer led us to the warden office. He was standing out there. It was pouring. He doesn't have a cap. He doesn't have a toque. He doesn't have a raincoat where all officer has. I said, it's raining. You know what he said? This is just water. I get dry. So this morning, it was raining when we went to Kent. And she did not have the toque on. And she said, oh, this is just, she said, no, when she gets out of the car, when we were at Kent, and she said, Sifu, the rain has stopped. So I got out, the rain hasn't stopped. It was still raining. I said, Ever? The rain has stopped? Of course, the rain for her has stopped because she loves heavy rain. The rain for me hasn't stopped because I don't like rain. Okay, so good. So you remember what is sunyata, okay? So last time we talked, so you have to bear in mind all the time this sunyata. What does it mean? So that you can actually apply that to your life when you actually encounter difficulties. Okay. So last time I talked about Musang, one of the scholars who said that sunyata cannot be sought as a thing in itself apart from the totality of all forms. right? And therefore, this sunnata or emptiness can only be known conceptually, and any conception is dependent upon the form that it is qualifying, right? So that what he said, that is emptiness. So that's what he meant by emptiness. So he said at its core, sunnata or emptiness cannot be differentiated from sunnata itself or from the form itself. So, and same as the form cannot be differentiated from sunnata. So, but form doesn't equal sunnata, and sunnata doesn't equal form. But sunnata, emptiness, is the nature of the existence of form. Got it? No, got it? It's the nature of form. How form exists is sunnata. Got it? Good. No? Bonnie?
Yeah. Is it correct to say that it would be the absence of the form?
Absence of the form?
Finish.
No.
Finish.
No. 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 It's not absent. But sunnata is the nature of this existence. It's the nature of this state.
Because it's not.
Because it's conditioned, it's impermanent, it's changing, it's transitory. It's
disappear. It'll eventually.
Bear in mind, sunnata doesn't mean annihilation. And it doesn't mean that it will eventually disappear. No. Sunnata doesn't carry that meaning. That means it completely disappear. No. Of course, it's changing, impermanent.
What I've heard is that sunyata is absence from itself.
Yes. Yes, a permanent self.
How about that?
Self-existence is the absence of self-existence. It's not the absence of the form. The form is still here, and the nature of this existence, of this form, is sunnata. The nature, right?
Can you also say there's nothing substantial in anything?
Yes. No, there is not a substantial self.
Yes, there's nothing substantial.
So you ask the stake. So what is the stake? The stake is the name that we, as the convenience, give it the name, this form, the name of this. We call it a stake, or like you are called tissa, so that we don't go around and say, hey, that man with a little bit dark skin, with a little bit gray hair, and 5'5", and there are so many people like that size and that kind of skin. And who is tissa? I mean, who is you? But there is no truly you there, because you are conditioned. You are made of conditions.
We call that conventional. That the person there is a conventional. Everyone's agreed that there is something there. We call it a person.
Yes.
Of the parts and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So,
but if you analyze me into pieces, right?
Into pieces, you're nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So remember, it doesn't mean absence. It's absence of the selfness. True.
This thing over here by itself.
Yes. Okay. Good. This is the Heart Sutra makes you think. You really have to contemplate, but not during your meditation. Really have to think and try to understand it, okay? So Red Pine, a very humble, also humble commentator and a practitioner. He said emptiness is actually not separate from form, and form is not separate from emptiness, in a way that under no conditions is form different from emptiness, or emptiness is different from form. And he said emptiness and form are so close that they are inseparable. You cannot dissect them. And they are essentially indistinguishable. It's true. It's true. You look at this form and you know it is sunnata in there. It is empty of its own self. And when you want to dissect it, how can you separate the no self from this? You can't, really. No matter how little that you can actually cut these into pieces. We will look at a clip later on. Okay, still, that whole universe of sunnata is in that particular, no matter how minute that point is. Okay, all right. So another a monk, he said people misapprehend their own mind and see form as something outside the mind. It's true. We are always misled by that conception. Because we haven't been taught this concept. So we already set a concept in our mind, in this intellect, that this is the truth. So when this Heart Sutra comes on, it becomes so mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Is it? Boggling? Yeah. So it's difficult to comprehend because we are so stuck by this concept. Okay? And he said, because they don't know that actually form exists because of our mind, the interpretation of our mind. That's why a form exists. Okay, so therefore he said form is not really separate from emptiness. And he said if people turn their back and grab hold of some Dharma and think emptiness is something outside their mind, is totally wrong. This is easy to comprehend. So he said actually emptiness arises from our mind, and all we need is to awaken our own mind and come out of this concept, not boxed in by ourselves. One way you can actually experience that is during meditation. During meditation, especially when you are experiencing very difficult sensations in the body, like extreme pain or whatever, and you try to be very calm and very focused and very balanced. Just go into the pain and try to feel that pain without identification, without identifying the pain as your pain, okay? And without identifying the pain as a permanent thing, and without identifying the pain as painful. Then you just start to really merely, simply experience that pain or that very strong sensation. I tell you, if you can do that, you will notice the mind becomes calmer, and also that particular sensation that you're experiencing really is changing. So much changing. It's amazing. And sooner you'll find that that pain is really not disturbing you. Sometimes it could be really relieving also. Try that. Why? At that time, because your mind actually is already out of the box, that pain belongs to me. This is my pain, and I need to deal with it because it makes me painful. It makes me suffering. And I am suffering. You see, all these I and me and mine is out of the box. You're out of the box. So pain remains as just a what? Sensation. It's not your sensation. Try it. I tried it just now. I always have to try it in my meditation because I'm constantly experiencing a lot of pain, especially in my neck and upper back area. It's constantly there. And especially yeah, your legs, right? So when I sit, it's constantly there. So it's a wonderful tool. I need to really get focused, not focusing to get rid of the pain, but just focusing to understand this is what this form is feeling right now. And it's a wonderful experience. And it tells you so much. Yeah, yeah, it breaks it up, but it's not with your mind that it breaks it up. It's actually its own, it dissolving. Yeah, yeah. So Hu Qing said emptiness actually arises on our mind. All we need is to awaken to our mind and we will understand emptiness more. Okay, and Qi said, inside emptiness there is no form, and outside form there is no emptiness. Inside emptiness there is no form, of course. And outside form there is no emptiness, of course. Right? So emptiness and form, he said, are one suchness, but not one. But they are very similar. They are very similar, and they are not separate. Okay, amazing, eh? As Laurie say, let it be. Okay, she has her ears itching. Okay, all right. So that which is form is emptiness, and that which is emptiness form is actually more or less the same as the last one. But now when we understand that form is not different from sunyata, and sunyata is not different from form, then we can actually further understand this. Sunyata is the nature of all phenomena, and it cannot exist without this nature. Any form cannot exist without this nature. That means it cannot exist without sunyata. Okay, so these two paragraphs actually said in this world, every form is conditioned and transitory and illusionary. Therefore, a wise person with prajna, that means with wisdom, will be able to see the dependent arising of any form without having had to further analyze or observe the dependent arising. But we are not, we can't. So to start off, we need to learn how to remind ourselves when we start to attach to something, we start to say, hey, what is this? You don't tell yourself, this is a stick. You start to tell yourself, this is conditioned. What are the conditions? The wood, the glue, the money to buy it, the people to lock it down, the people to grow it, the dirt, the sun, and everything. So you start to remind yourself, and especially as parent or grandparent, or we have family members, when they get sick or when we get sick, we start to understand our own existence and their existence and the relationship between us are all conditioned. Why are we close to some family members? Why are we not close to some other family members? Why? Why are we befriended with somebody? Why are not we not befriended with the other person? Why? It's all conditioned. This is all conditioned. Okay? Then we start seeing that from there, we start actually understanding karma a little bit more. When we start to understand karma a little bit more, we will be able to what? Acknowledge and also accept the way my experience is right now, right here, then you're less likely to fall into that trap of attachment, of me, mine, and I, or you, yours, right? Okay. Any questions so far? Yes.
Can we say that the stick is something whole universe?
You can, of course. It is a universe of its own. But inside the stick, every molecule is its own universe. But in the universe is also this stick. Yeah? It is. Like, I mean, I see from my eye, I see you. You are in my eyes. But you are an individual. You are one universe in my universe. But my universe embraces your universe too.
Different perceptions too, like we look at that as a sick. A termite might look at that as suffering.
Of course.
So
It's
different views.
it's because of different karma, right? It's different karma. Why would it be a termite? Why would we be a different a human being, right? Okay. So in here, Red Pine said, form or any other entity of the mind is defined by the mind and exists only because we claim it exists to be like that. So it's the same as the previous one. So the only thing that exists is our mental definition of form. We label it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The perception start labeling it when we see an image. Remember, just rupa, eyes, rupa, doesn't see it as something. It only sees it as a something. And then when that image goes inside, our mind starts to perceive it with our past experience, past knowledge. This is called beige color, right? And this is called a stick with our perceptions. The perceptions come from our past experiences, our education, the way we were brought up, everything. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So form itself is empty of anything that we could be called self-existent. Yeah. Uh, all right. Go on. So whatever we use to define form, it is dependent on something else. And therefore, the essential nature of form is sunyata. That's what Red Pine said. Okay. And the absence of anything, like anything self-existent, is the true nature of all that we experience. Sunyata. Sunyata is the true nature of what we experience constantly. We can. Okay. And also, it's the way this form exists too. Right? So that I can go on, right? Go on, Sifu, go on. So Avalokiteshvara also sees this, including the five khandhas, the five aggregates, the other four aggregates, the perceptions, the Vedana, the feelings, and the Sanya, the perceptions, and the Sankara, the volitions or impulses, and the Vijnana, the consciousness. He see that all the other four khandhas, we call the aggregates, is the same as the form. It's sunyata also. Okay, so they are empty of what we call it real. So Ching Chu said, form is emptiness. Emptiness does not annihilate emptiness. So those who are really understanding this path do not use emptiness to perceive form, for they know that form essentially is not form. This is more confusing, right? Well, we know form is actually essentially not formed because it's all made up with all other elements, like us. Water. No, wrong again. Yes. W, E, W. Yeah, okay. What? You have to get it in the right order. What is the first? The earth? Yeah, wind. Okay. Get it in the right order. That's why I said it wrong, because when we were born, we were reversed. All these four elements came in reverse order. When we die, it follows this order. Or when we get old, we follow this order. Old until we die, then we reach the last order, the wind part. Okay. I'm not cursing you. Okay. So, Ming Guang, another very renowned monk, he said, form and mind are not two different dharmas. The mind is not inside or outside or somewhere in between the forms. It actually expands and extends everywhere like a space. So sunnata expands, and so does form can also expand. So you need to use a little bit of imagination. And a very modern, not modern, but I mean, close, like he was just 110 if he hasn't passed away 9 years ago. So he said, Yin said, those that can exist can actually are actually keep changing, right? We know that. And he said the birth and the destruction, the existence and the non-existence of dharmas is actually entirely dependent on the lack of self-existence. Yeah, it does. Otherwise, how can it exist if it has a self? If I have this self and I'm not changing, I'm not going to get old. I'm not going to die. But because this is ever changing, so it will degrade, it will get old. And if this thing has a self, and this self is not changing, and it's not empty, or it's not sunnata, then this will stay forever, right? But it can't, it won't, because of sunnata. It's transitory, it's changing, constantly changing. Okay, so Yin said, because of emptiness or because of sunnata, all things are possible. So it's very hopeful. It's just because of sunnata, right? So it doesn't matter. After this life we go, never mind. We come back again because of sunnata. When all those four elements come together, that make you a different self again. Different you, not different self. Different you again. So it's great, isn't it? Yeah, rebirth. But do you want to come back? No. Oh, you don't? I do. Why not? Oh, you want to be up there? Oh, you want to have fun up there? I tell you, it's not fun. Oh, don't attach to that God ram, I tell you. Because up there, you are using up your credits. And sooner or later, your credits will be overdrawn. And mind you, it's very scary when your credit is over. Yeah, you're gonna sit in that lotus spot for ages.
You know that.
Yeah, it's not going to be open for millions of years. No, I don't like to. I know. No, I'd rather come back. I come back. I vow to come back as a human being and vow to practice and study the Dhamma deeper, more extensive, so that, one day.
We'll all meet here again.
What time?
Sometime like this.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. And bodhisattvas everywhere. Yeah. Great. Yeah, let us meet again. All right. That's a promise. All dharmas are empty. This second paragraph. O Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. And the same is true for our feelings, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. Okay? So it's just like a mirror. This sunnata is really, a mirror is really a vivid depiction of sunnata. It doesn't have a self there. Whatever put right in front of the mirror, it will reflect exactly what it is. It doesn't add, it doesn't subtract, it doesn't take away. If you remove that thing, there's no more shadow in that mirror. So the mirror actually is a vivid depiction of sunnata. And also, I was talking to Tansifu the other day. I said the wonderful understanding of sunnata also is looking at the bridge that we have across from Prairie Central. It's spanning over the space. Out there is Crown Land. In here is Polem's land. In between is the space. That's sunnata. And the bridge across the space is the form that is in that space. You understand sunnata completely, right? See, the form is in that space, but that space is also in that form, isn't it? And that is not crown space, crown land, or Poland land. It's just a space there. Nora now get Laura confused. Okay, another example, Nora. See my 5 fingers. It forms. What do you call this? Where is the fist? It's still there. It's sunnata. Where is the fist? But the fist is not here anymore. The fist is in sunnata, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. Understand this. Easy, hey? Yeah. So the fist is a fist because the fingers function in this way. We call it a fist. But we call these 5 fingers. So it's all empty. It's all sunnata. It's conditioned that make it to become this form. And it's conditioned that we make it to become this form. Yeah.
It's the labeling that we get stuck.
It's the labeling that confuses us. Okay? So the Buddha taught that rupa does not differ from emptiness, and emptiness does not differ from form. But we are so stubborn. We are so stubbornly attached to this form That is, we find it so confusing. So you really have to let go of this concept and try to look at it deeper. Okay, so let us look at this. He said, now are you the center of the universe? Are you the special creature of the creation? What is behind those limits? Are there any limits? Note that going downwards, we could only go to the power of minus 16 of 10 and reach the so-called unknown limits of matter. But upwards, we went to the power of 23 of 10 and stopped. But really, we could have continued our trip without limits to our imagination. Then, who says that we are alone in the universe? So that tells you sunnata and form. We can actually further dissect that. And I'm sure scientists will be able to find more about this. But the Buddha already said. The Buddha already said. What are the nature of all the 5 skandhas? They were empty. So remember the 5 analogies. Yeah? The rupa is like a bubble? No, a foam. Okay. A foam. And go on. Feelings, bubble, perceptions, mirage, sankhara, plantain tree, the banana tree, and the consciousness. Consciousness. Huh? Yeah, who is illusion? Who plays tricks? Magician. Very good. You passed the quiz. Yeah? Remember those 5 analogies that the Buddha actually told us. So I hope the scientists will one day will find the evidence. It is quantum physics. Yeah, yeah, it is quantum physics. You're not having trouble perceiving sunnata? Good. Good. So this so the Buddha said it is the same to all feelings, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness, or Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana. Okay, so it's the same. Emptiness, sunnata, and it's not different from feelings, and feelings is not different from sunnata. So that means the 5 skandhas are not different from sunnata, and sunnata is not different from the 5 skandhas. So we are all empty. But yet there is an apparent truth. That's why we can still see this form. One day, if we become awakened and really see through this emptiness, then you will look at me and you see all this arising, passing, arising, passing, arising, passing. Or see yourself arising, passing, arising, passing, arising, changing, passing, passing. Okay? So you, in your meditation, but you can experience this. Deep meditation, you can experience this. But use that experience to apply it to your life so that you could actually deal with the chaos that you may encounter in life. That's how we use the Dharma to actually improve ourselves, to better ourselves, to be a better being, a wiser person. Okay? So, we are done for today. And be happy and be mindful. So, I congratulate you. You're going to have a break from this confusion for 3 weeks because I'm going away to teach in Hong Kong and China. But Dharma sharing still goes on.
It's the review.
A review of confusion, very good. Yeah. So Dharma sharing will still go on with a review of confusion and a quiz of confusion about confusion. Good. Many quizzes. So go home and study. Okay, study those confusions and come out of the confusion. Hopefully one day. You have any questions about the confusion? Let us dedicate our merits. We bring our attention back to this body. We experience these constant changes within this physical existence. And at this moment, we allow a good thought to arise on our mind. For all the benefits that are gathered tonight, may I share with all beings, human, non-human, visible, invisible, big or small, far or near. May they be free of enmity, may they be free of miseries. May they start to live in the world with brightness, warmth, and experience compassionate love, and be truly happy and peaceful. May we wish more and more people will encounter the words of the Buddha, study them, practice them, and liberate themselves from their own entanglements of sufferings and miseries, and attain this ultimate freedom and happiness. May you all have a good week. Good evening.